Welcome to the War on Weakness podcast. This is episode number 1 with Kenny and Tanner here. This is going to be just an intro on what this podcast is going to be about moving forward. It's going to give you an overview to what we intend to do here, what our purpose is here, what we're trying to do with this thing, and to introduce you to us. And this is Kenny. I guess what's your reason for being here, and where do you want to take this?
Well, I guess you're asking what is the why, and talked a little bit, Tanner. We have different whys. My why I want to wage war on weakness, my own personal weaknesses, is primarily number one would be for me as a man, to be a stronger father, stronger husband, stronger friend, stronger community member. When I look at my life, there's some things that I'm already kind of strong at, kind of other things I'm okay at, other things I'm very weak at, and this is going to be a challenge for me to go walk through this year and kind of let's get bluntly honest here and see what I come out at the other end, because for me is time flees very, very quickly, and I don't want to become strong when I'm 60, 70, 80, 90. I got kids at home right now. I got a wife at home right now, so I want to cheat the curve, so to speak. And in doing so, maybe the plan is to let others cheat the curve, see what's going right, see what's going wrong. How do they get strong? And so that'd be my biggest why. Tanner, what's yours?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as far as that goes, where I want to push myself through this, obviously, because it's, I think it's necessary in today's world that you have to have a reason to do stuff. Most people don't anymore. But I kind of have a different take on it than you as well, where I'm seeing things happen around us right now that I think everybody's a little bit worried about. There's a lot of weakness. Like, we call this the war on weakness, and it might be out of taste to trivialize war, but at the same time too, that's kind of where we're at. And I think that weakness has become as much of a pandemic as everything else we call pandemics right now. And it's weak-minded, emotionally weak, physically weak people that tend to be the biggest victims, creating the biggest havoc, right? So I think that my purpose on this is not only to facilitate myself to take a step back and really have a look at, like, are you actually who you think you are, right? And to say, do you want to be part of the solution or part of the problem? Because I see too many people out there that are posting. So this is what really made me think of this. I see Facebook posts, and I see grown men that you would assume to be these masculine, badass dudes, and they're sitting there sharing the propaganda that you see. They're getting involved with all this emotional stuff, and it's like, we gotta, like you'll see posts, political posts, and all these things, and everybody just emotion, and anger, and you don't realize, because I didn't for the longest time, and I'm trying my best to try to curb it, and that is, anger is the highest form of weakness. The weakest you will ever be is when you're angry. That is, you might feel physically strong due to adrenaline, but you're weak. Your mind is weak when you're angry. So what I'm seeing is grown-ass men saying, ooh, like, Justin Trudeau this and Donald Trump that and COVID. It's like, okay, I get it. The world's in a bad place. We know it. But you sharing weakness and fear and anger only makes it worse. And you're playing right into the hands of the truly weak that are controlling you. So my purpose is, I've sat in back long enough, and I don't know if I'm the guy to even say this, but that's not acceptable as far as change goes. So my purpose for this is you're probably weak if you're affected by all this stuff. You're allowing it to happen. And most of these people, myself included, need to get stronger and then influence the people around them to get stronger, not on social media, but directly. Your family, your kids, everybody around you needs to be influenced in a positive way towards getting stronger and stop being angry and weak. That's my purpose. So if I can facilitate that in any kind of way, which I have some ideas, working with you is going to be awesome because it adds such a awesome dynamic to what we're going to try to do with this thing. And I think that this is my war on weakness, right? It's your war on weakness. And it should be everybody's war on weakness. And I think that if we can stop being such a bunch of pussies and just go get after it, I think you'd be surprised at what kind of a bubble you can start to create around this thing that's building around us. But anyway.
I appreciate everything you said there, Tanner. And like the reason I think we were drawn to do this together is we kind of say the same thing. We just come from a very different angle.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate everything you just said. And I agree with everything you just said, actually. And through the social media, I can't explain it. I'm sure there's books on it. But for some reason, we're polarizing, right? So you're in either Camp A or Camp B.
Mm-hmm.
And Camp A hates Camp B. And Camp B hates Camp A.
Mm-hmm.
And we're focusing on what separates us and instead of what unites us,
Yep.
right? And so when you say anger pushes in those camps, I'm all for let's focus on what unites us.
Absolutely.
Right? Being good to each other, being strong, being good dads, being good husbands. Not jumping on pornography or shooting up with crap on Saturday night to make your pain go away. Right? I think we're getting to the same spot, just a slightly different angle on it. So I really appreciate what you're saying, and I think I would also say for myself is that this isn't about preaching from a pulpit. Be strong like me.
Yeah.
This is going to be humbling, and it adds one of my biggest reasons for joining you is it adds a high level of accountability. I can't be on this mic saying something that my kids are going to listen to, and not walk my walk. So it's got a rawness to it that we got to be ready to get dirty and face some skeletons in our own closets, and let our listeners walk with us and. Maybe some of them are strong, we're weak, and we're going to have guests on as well that shore up our weaknesses and tell us how can you get or wage our own war on weakness in each of these categories. Is that fair?
100%.
Okay.
I think that's what, I have a couple things I do well,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a million things I do terribly. Like, I like what you said there is, this does not mean we're strong, so to speak, because everybody's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wake up to, my back hurts as much as anybody else every morning when I wake up. You know what I mean? Like it's, time ain't kind on any of us, but it's not in any way, shape, or form. I have a set of skills that might benefit somebody, as do you. Like you said, but then we're going to hit parts where neither of us know what to do, right? So, okay, let's find somebody.
Cool.
Let's get somebody that's can come in or that, toes the line, so to speak. I think that there is a plethora of local business people. Like part of this podcast is going to be a community. Like I think that we can bring each other. You can make yourself stronger, and it's like an army, right? This band of warriors. That's pretentious, but you can then through strengthening yourself and bringing us together, and I think bringing on different people in the community that can help us. Whether it's a business owner, whether it's a doctor, whatever, lawyer, doesn't matter. How do we bring them together fighting this same war? Like, how do we keep money in our own pockets instead of handing it over to that government that you say you hate so much on Facebook, but you're not, you say you hate them, and then you turn around and give them all your money. Right? Like you go give Walmart your money and you're looking at probably 95 cents of it for sure, if not 100% of it leaving this town. But yet you hate the government. It's like, well, you just gave him all your money. Go give a local guy your money and then he'll give you his money. and then we can leave those people out of it, right?
As you're talking, I think I'm kind of analyzing what's our worst case scenario out of this. Even if there isn't a single person that listens to this, at the end of the year, I'm a stronger man.
Yeah.
And it was worth every doggone minute we put into this. And I get to do it with a guy I call him a friend and I respect, and who it does have a lot of strengths that I admire. I don't think that's going to be the case, because I don't see us walking up to the average man or woman and saying, how you liking being weak? You liking that? Is that working for you? And saying, you know what, I'm kind of comfortable here. This is kind of where I wanted to end up in life, actually. I wanted to be weak. So I don't see that being the case. I don't know any men in my life that say I'm comfortable being weak. And even if you learn one thing, I always think if you read a book and all you get is one better idea out of it, it was worth the read. If it improves your life a little bit, it was worth the read. It reached outside of your own mind, your own habits, your own knowledge, and reach outside and inject it into you and say, you know what, I'm a better person now than I was prior to that. And I think there's going to be a lot of that off this podcast.
I think that there's people, I know most men are just looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't, there hasn't been any leadership in houses or, society in a long time. Not saying that we're that. 'Cause
or maybe not that
the
there's not
case.
any, because there's a lot of people I admire. But maybe
where
we're
are
lacking.
they? Yeah.
Maybe we're lacking, and we
Yes.
want to bring them out
Exactly.
and say,
where
hey,
are they?
hey,
Yeah,
share what you're doing right, man.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They're probably out there. It's just they're getting stifled.
Oh, I agree with you. It's just it's our polarization again.
Yeah.
I just stay away from extremes.
Yeah.
But
I'm an extremist.
Yeah, which is good.
No, that's good though.
But in Tanner, I think too is people might look at you and say, "Oh, it's a war on weakness." Obviously, Tanner, if you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, he's 240 pounds. I think he argues with me on that of bulking beef. I have to wrestle him every once in a while, but this isn't just physical strength we're talking here, is it?
Yeah.
It's not just can you bench press more, and if you can bench press this much, now you're a man. If you can't bench press this much, then you're weak.
Mm-hmm.
It's much bigger than that. Tanner, what you want to share on that?
Absolutely. So I guess what you said, Russ, is like we've known each other our whole lives, but we really started to come together through MMA training, grappling, jiu-jitsu, and then now into MMA stuff. And I went in there at 240 pounds, got choked out by a 16-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
I can talk about it now. It's a little bit of counseling and
okay, a lot.
Yeah, a lot. I'm just trying not to get emotional about it.
Yeah.
No, honestly, and without, that was a very humbling experience. She was really good, but that experience really started, that humbled me, which was good. And then you come into the picture too. And then all of a sudden, that showed me that it doesn't matter how big and strong I am. It's about how competent are you at what you think you're doing. You know what I mean? You can be the richest guy in town. If you're a dick, you're a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Competency is king.
Mm-hmm.
We're bringing competency back.
And so we're going to be looking at physical strength.
Yeah, physical strength.
Mental strength.
Emotional
strength. Social strength.
Yeah.
Financial strength.
Yes.
Is that fair? Just
100%.
We're going to attack it all.
I think that anything that involves your day-to-day activities, I need help in 94% of those.
As do I.
So, and if we do it, if one guy does, usually somebody else does, and we talk about it, it's starting to become a thing people talk about more. So it's cool. Let's get in the game with it and see what happens.
And I think you touched on it, is we're also going to try to cheat the curve. So if I'm Joe Blow and I am weak in my mental health, well, let's get somebody on here who can really speak to mental health.
Absolutely.
And what impact does exercise and diet and sleep patterns and this and that have on it, so that Joe Blow can cheat the curve, listen to this, and we're going to do everything we can to find somebody local that they can call tomorrow morning and say, "Hey, I'm Joe Blow. I listened to the podcast yesterday. I want to take action, and I want to shore up that weakness." So we're going to link it to the community with a call to action, so to speak.
Want to keep some money in our community too.
And makes it so we can listen to all kinds of amazing people on Joe Rogan, but nobody on Joe Rogan is going to call me back or let me come see him on 7 o'clock in the morning to
Brother.
book an appointment. Say I'm ready to take a change. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's
No,
just
I
a
mean,
difference. It's a
Just bring it in closer.
into our tribe,
No,
like you say.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So,
I think. Are
Where
we
we at
missing
for
anything else
time,
there,
Paul?
Tanner?
it's our- okay. So that's
So should we just sound it off and
yeah.
say, "Here's the journey. Let's go."
yeah. So
Okay.
the next one will be a strength podcast.
Yep.
And we'll see you then.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.